Welcome to MCN and the launch of the Royal Enfield Shotgun 650. Now, before we set off from here at the bike shed in LA, let's go and have a little look around it and see what makes it tick. So Royal Enfield say that this bike's been inspired by other customised Royal Enfields. So it's kind of got a bit of everything. It's got a bit of custom, it's got a bit of kind of bobber to it, a bit of a mishmash of all styles really. So it's hard to pigeonhole, which is exactly what they want. It's got mid pegs. So let's give you 5 things you need to know about this bike. So number 1, this bike is based on the Super Meteor, which costs £7,300. So I'd imagine that the price of this bike isn't going to be too different, which makes it fantastic value. Royal Enfields are always great value bikes and they're well put together and they ride fantastically. So that should be one big tick. Number 2, it's powered by a 650cc parallel twin cylinder engine, which has got 46 bhp. That engine started life in the Interceptor and the Continental 650. A multiple award winner when it comes to MCN group tests and awards. Fantastic engine. It's also A2 compliant. Number 3, the chassis on this bike is based on the Super Meteor, but it's got a little bit racier geometry. So it's got a smaller front wheel, it's got upside down forks, the wheelbase is a little bit smaller, it kind of sits more on its nose, the rear is a little bit higher, so it should offer quite a sporty ride. Number 4, the quality of this bike is superb. So, you know, this bike's built down to a price. I mean, incidentally, you can have a blue one, you can have a green one, you can have a white one, or you can have a grey one. But you'd never know that it is built down to a price. The quality is absolutely superb. And to be honest, even if this bike was twice the amount, you can kind of accept it. But as it is, it should be very, very affordable. Lots of nice attention to detail, lovely switchgear, nice clocks. The bar end mirrors are optional, it comes with normal mirrors. And finally, number 5, this bike has kind of been designed to be customised. And that starts right from the minute you take it from the dealer. It comes with a twin seat, the standard. As you can see, this is a single seat, but a subframe is bolted onto this bike, which is 4 bolts. It doubles up as a rack, which you can also put a seat on it. So when you get this bike from a dealer, it comes as a 2-seater. And then just with 4 bolts, you can take the subframe off and you can give it the kind of single seat look. And then if you wanted to go further, you could get rid of that mudguard, chop it down, make it look snazzy, and then you've got yourself a really nice custom bike. So that's what makes this bike tick. And now what I reckon we should do is take it out for a ride. So we've been riding the Shotgun 650 here in LA. We've been riding it around the town. We've been riding it on the freeways and up in the mountains on the canyon roads. And you know, first impressions of this bike when you look at it, it's just like any cruisery retro you care to mention. It's a lovely little thing, it's affordable, we'll come on to the price later on. But the longer I've spent with the Royal Enfield, the more I realise there's more to it than initially meets the eye. So, you know, it's a few bikes rolled into one. It's a custom bike, it's a cruiser, and also it's a sports bike as well. So, you know, we start with the styling side of things and the custom side of things. You know, there's a reason that Royal Enfield decided to launch this bike in the bike shed in LA. You know, it's all about the cool custom culture. And you know, the styling of this bike itself comes from Royal Enfields that have been modified, you know, over the past few years. And it's almost got kind of factory fitted retro mod or resto mod styling, which you either love or you don't. I think it's pretty cool. So it ticks all the styling boxes. It's a really nice custom, but it's also very cruisery. I didn't really know what to expect when I was going to ride this. I mean, I've ridden Royal Enfields before, but this has definitely got kind of an American cruiser feel. And you know, riding on the highway back into downtown LA, it kind of feels really at home. It's got kind of a familiar cruisery kind of weight to it. It's 240 kilos, so it's not a light bike, but it's kind of a reassuring weight. It's a weight that you really think should be there. It doesn't deter from the ride at all. In actual fact, it kind of gives it a nice kind of solidity. The engine is really relaxed when you're cruising, and we spent over 8 hours in the saddle on this bike, and it's really comfortable. There's lots of room for your, I'm 6 foot, lots of room for your legs, your knees aren't squashed up, the seat's really, really comfortable, the bar position's natural, not a lot of wind protection, but you know, what do you expect? It's a naked bike. So it does the cruising thing very well, and the engine, it's only got 46 bhp, but it punches way above its weight. You never feel like you need more. So when you're cruising, the character of this bike is that it's got a lot of low-end grunt. The power delivery is very, very smooth, and you can just waft along. You know, waft along in 6 gear. There's lots of grunt. You know, you're never up and down the gears looking for the power. There's a nice, it's 270-degree crank. There's a nice burble from the engine without being too vibey. And you know, it's just a joy to cruise on. And you know, you're riding down these freeways in LA, and it's like being in a film set. You know, you're surrounded by these huge trucks. You're almost rubbing shoulders with massive wheel nuts. You know, going through like a sea of Teslas. It's just kind of magical, really, riding this bike in the Californian filter photograph kind of madness of this place. So yeah, it ticks the cruiser box really, really well. But here's the thing that's really surprising about this bike. And you know, this bike doesn't look like it really should be kind of fun in a conventional sporty way, but it really, really is. Royal Enfield, the new generation Royal Enfield, make beautiful handling bikes. And that goes from the Interceptor 650, which is a multiple MCN award-winning bike, all the way through to a bike I've ridden recently, which is the Bullet 350, which is really basic, a bike which you don't think is going to handle that well, but they've all got this character where they just roll into corners beautifully, regardless of the shape of bike, regardless of the wheel size, regardless of the spec of the suspension. It's just put together absolutely beautiful. And it's no surprise really, because you know, this bike here has done countless laps of Bruntingthorpe, where Royal Enfield's technology centre is. It's done countless times and laps at Idiada, which is a Spanish testing facility. It's been on the UK roads, and you know, I don't really want to mention the T word, but you know, it's a character that a lot of Triumphs have got. And it's no surprise, because a lot of the test team, a lot of the engineers come from Hinckley, and this bike's got this similar character. It's really good fun, and to show that off, Royal Enfield were keen to take us up in the canyon roads, up in the mountains, where again it's like a film set. You're going through these corners, and you know, you could be, you think of those 80s films like Heart to Heart and A-Team and Columbo. You recognise all the canyon roads. It's amazing, and this bike is really good fun. It rolls into corners beautifully. You don't really feel the weight. It hasn't got very long travel suspension, so it does crash over really big bumps. But when you find some smooth tarmac, the lighter your inputs on the steering, the nicer and the more flowing it feels. And the handling matches the power of the engine. The engine doesn't overawe it. There's always enough power between corners to have fun. The brakes are fantastic. The front brake's not brilliant. It's only a single disc setup with a twin piston Byberry caliper on the front. But the rear, it's a 300 disc with a twin piston caliper, and that is strong. You've got to kind of recalibrate. I like using the rear brake a lot, and the rear brake's quite sharp on this, so you've got to just lighten your boot pressure. And on a bike like this, using the rear brake really helps it suck into the tarmac, helps it turn, and the whole riding experience is lovely. You know, you can just cruise on it, or you can really take it by the lapels and ride it hard through corners, and it is a lot of fun. So it's a custom bike, it's a cruiser, it's a sports bike, even though you'd never think it. But it's also, the best thing about this bike is that it's great value for money, like all Royal Enfields. Prices haven't been announced right now. We're at the end of 2023 as we record this, but the price is going to be announced in January when this video is going to go live. But I'm guessing that This bike's based on the Super Meteor 650. It's got the same chassis, albeit this is a little bit sported geometry. It's got the same engine. So I would imagine the price is going to be similar. Super Meteor costs about £7,300. So this is going to be in the ballpark. And you know, it's a lot of bike for the money. When you look around this bike, you'll see that they haven't really skimped on the price of the components, the imagination and the attention to detail. And you know, if this bike was another couple of grand, you still really wouldn't kind of raise an eyebrow really. So I mean, let's talk about what it's got. So standard equipment includes a centre stand, shower suspension, a really nice dash, LED lights, Coke bottle grips, finned exhaust clamps, a Monza style fuel cap, old school radial switches, and a turn-by-turn sat-nav gauge. It comes in blue, white, grey or green, and those paint jobs have a real nice quality feel about them. And there are loads of classy touches that include the enamel-like finish on the rocker and engine covers, the handlebar clamp, and the cast headlight surround. The seat is really nicely stitched, and the mudguards and side panels are metal, not plastic. This bike has got bar end mirrors, which are an accessory, and there are also 31 accessories available for this bike. It also has really nice switchgear, which is really simple to use, sturdy buttons, and old style rotary switches that operate the headlights and kill switch. So to sum up our ride here in Los Angeles on the Shotgun 650, I mean, what a bike. It's a bike that you go into without many expectations, but it turns out it's a really enjoyable bike to ride slowly and just to cruise on. It's got a really nice kind of a cruiser-like, American-like character, but it also turns into a sports bike when you want to go and have a bit of fun. It's also got some nice custom touches on it. You know, this bike's ripe for customization as well. Because it hasn't got a rear subframe, you can cut down the rib mudguard if you want to. You can put a loud pipe on it and you can go the full bike shed and, you know, turn it into whatever you want. But best of all, like all Royal Enfields, as I said before, is the value for money. You know, costing less than 8 grand, I'm hoping. It's a lot of bike for the money. A lot of nice detail touches and a bike that's going to make you feel good every time you ride on it. So, you know, that's our few days spent with the Shotgun 650 of Royal Enfield. I've thoroughly enjoyed the bike, and I think anyone who jumps on one will feel the same way. So, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.